The Zeta Lambda chapter had an outstanding year. By participating in national, regional, and local events, we are committed to going above and beyond the requirements for a superior chapter. The path to excellence focused on three major goals. First, with our business building under construction and students scattered around campus, we decided to provide ways for all students to come together. Second, we would continue to help those affected by natural disasters. And finally, we would increase our involvement in our community. In this video, we will show how we achieved our goals and met the criteria for being Gold Chapter.
Our first goal was to provide opportunities to bring all students together. Some events were professional. When the Illinois Board of Examiners came to talk about the CPA exam, we invited all accounting majors. When we scheduled a presentation by attorney Jim Peterson, the author of a book on Big Four firms, we invited all accounting majors and business law students. Finally, we arranged for a movie night for all business students by attaining a $700 grant to pay for the rights to All the Queen's Horses, a movie about the $52 million fraud in Dixon, Illinois. We plan to continue having open events next year as our building is still under construction.
We also worked on social events that were open to others. For example, during homecoming, our chapter tailgated and invited all accounting majors and their families. We provided all the food and drinks. When the Illinois CPA Society Young Professionals asked about an event, we suggested a new networking activity, an ice cream social. This was open to anyone studying accounting, and the attendance exceeded everyone's expectations.
Our second major goal was to continue to reach out to other chapters or their communities that were affected by natural disasters. Why did we choose to do this? In 2013, an EF4 tornado destroyed over 1,000 homes in our community, including several faculty, staff, and students. We helped with the recovery by doing cleanup and fundraising. We saw that the recovery took over 2 years. Because of this, we have been committed to providing assistance to other BAP chapters or communities affected by similar disasters. In 2016-2017, we did 3 fundraisers for the victims of a 1,000-year flood in Louisiana, for the victims of a Hurricane Matthew in North Carolina, and for tornado victims in Georgia. In 2017-2018, we tried something new, a fundraiser at a local restaurant for the victims of the 2 hurricanes that affected Puerto Rico and the other Caribbean communities. Since helping others is a part of BAP, we decided to see what other chapters thought about providing this type of assistance and making it a reaching out activity. We talked about this during our chapter operations presentation at the Midwest Regional Meeting. We then distributed a survey and received very positive results. The majority of the respondents were in favor of providing assistance to other BAP chapters or their communities and receiving credit for a reaching out activity. We are sending the survey results to the BAP Board of Directors to see if they would allow assistance to a chapter affected by a disaster to count as a reaching out activity.
Our third major goal was to increase involvement in our community.
We would like to highlight 2 new events that we did this year to help increase our community involvement. First, our faculty advisor got a phone call from the IRS. Our local volunteer income tax assistance site was down to only a handful of volunteers. Our advisor and tax professor reached out to accounting students and Beta Alpha Psi members. For the first time in 15 years, Beta is back at Bradley. Our members stepped up to the plate. 68% of student volunteers were Beta Alpha Psi members. We helped prepare over 300 returns. Volunteers worked on 15 different days during filing season. Our VITA participation was even featured on the local news.
Our second new community service event began when a student from the local high schools asked for help in providing SAT books to the students that couldn't afford them. After learning of the need, we partnered with ALPHA, the Association of Latino Professionals for America, and were able to secure our first ever award from BAP's Inclusive Leadership Program. With the grant and partnership with ALPHA, we provided SAT prep books to the high schools and visited with the students to encourage them to prepare for college. This was an exciting event. The school superintendent wrote about it in her blog, and a principal sent us a thank you note. VITA and the SAT prep program provided us with 2 new connections into our community.
In conclusion, beyond these 3 goals, we had a great year. Participating in Project Run With It and chapter operations at the 2017 annual meeting, earning 2nd place in best practices at the Midwest Regional Meeting, and agreeing to co-host the 2019 Midwest Regional Meeting. We look forward to seeing you in Washington, D.C. Thank you for supporting Beta Alpha Psi.